Today I'm doing the BookTube Adventure Tag, which was originally created by My Messy Bookshelf. This is one of those tags that I immediately liked the idea of, because it frames BookTube as an actual journey with challenges, companions, growth, and I think if you've been doing this for a while, that really does fit. So I thought it would be fun to reflect a bit more on my own experience so far. So let's get into it. And the first prompt is choose your adventure. When you started your channel, did you have a specific niche in mind? Now, when I started my channel, I didn't have a super strict or clearly defined niche, but I did have a general direction. I was reading mostly fantasy and science fiction at the time, and it naturally became the focus of the channel. And that's still true now. If you look at what I read and what I talk about, it's still heavily centered around those two genres. But at the same time, I've become more aware that I don't want to stay completely locked into just that. One of the things I've been thinking about more recently is trying to branch out a bit. Maybe read more classics or try different genres that I normally wouldn't pick up. Another important part of my adventure, I guess, is that I started reading more seriously as an adult not that long ago. So my channel isn't just about reviewing books, it's also about discovering reading itself into a more structured way. And I think the biggest thing that defines my channel is the decision to read my TBR in publication order. And that's something I don't see very often, and it really shapes my whole experience. It turns reading into a kind of timeline where you move through genres and series in the order they were released. It also means I don't just jump on hype or new releases, which gives the channel a slightly different feel. And I think it makes everything feel more like a long-term journey instead of short-term content. And the second tag is choose your character. When you started your channel, did your true personality shine through? And do you think it does now? Now, when I first started, my true personality definitely didn't come through fully on camera. And I think that's probably the case for most people. Talking to a camera feels unnatural at first, and you're very aware of yourself in a way that you normally aren't. And some people seem completely comfortable right away, but I really had to grow into it. And if I look back at my first videos now, I can see that I was more stiff and a bit more careful with what I said and just less expressive overall. And recently I re-watched my very first video, and the difference compared to now is actually quite big. And it's one of those things you don't really notice while it's happening, but over time it becomes really clear. That being said, I'm still very proud of that first video. It might not be perfect, but it represents the starting point, and without it none of this would exist. And another layer to this is that I'm constantly translating from Frisian and Dutch into English while I'm speaking, and that's something that doesn't necessarily come across directly, but it does affect how I talk. It can make my delivery a bit more structured or stiff, because I'm thinking about phrasing and wording in real time. But I also think that's part of what makes the channel what it is. and over time I've definitely gotten more comfortable with it, and I don't have to think as much about every sentence anymore, which helps me sound more natural. So while I'm still not someone who feels completely natural on camera, I think I've improved at least a little bit compared to where I started. And the third fact is choose your companions. Who are some bookish companions you remember from the early days of your journey? One of the most interesting parts of BookTube is, I think, are the people you meet along the way. And so early on, one of the people I interacted with was Brian from Casper's Mystery Corner, and he's someone I've been in contact with since the beginning. And those early connections really stick with you. And even if you don't interact all the time, or if someone becomes less active, you still associate them with that starting phase of your journey. And it actually took a while before I felt like I was part of any kind of community. For the first few months, it felt mostly like I was just uploading videos into the void. But after about 6 months, I started getting noticed by other booktubers who were making similar content. And from there, I kind of found my way into a small group of people. And that really changed the experience. It makes it more interactive, more motivating, and just more fun overall. And after a while, you start recognizing names in your comments, and you start following each other's reading, and it just becomes less of a solo activity. The fourth prompt is the quest. Choose one or all three of the following obstacles. The comparison curse. How do you handle comparing your channel to others? The algorithm dragon. What has been your biggest frustration with growth, views, or consistency? And the other one is the self-doubt monster. What insecurity have you had to battle as a creator? Now, when it comes to comparing myself to other booktubers, I honestly don't struggle with that too much. I watch quite a lot of booktube, and I enjoy seeing how different people approach the same book. Even when two people talk about the exact same story, the videos can feel completely different because of their personality, their focus, or just the way they structure their thoughts. And because of that, it doesn't really feel like direct competition to me. It feels more like everyone is contributing their own perspective. Of course, it's always possible to fall into the trap of comparing numbers, subscribers, views, things like that, but I've never really focused on that side of it. For me, the content itself is more important than the metrics. As for the algorithm and growth, I've actually found a system that works really well for me. I upload 2 videos a week, and I also record them at the same time each week, and that routine helps a lot because I don't have to constantly think about when to film or when to upload. It just becomes part of my daily schedule. And I do occasionally get comments from people asking why my channel isn't bigger or why I don't have more subscribers yet. And while that's nice to hear, it's not something I worry about too much. I just rather have a smaller group of people who constantly watch and engage with my videos than focus too much on growth for its own sake. And the fifth prompt is the struggle. Was there a moment you considered quitting? And what kept you going? So far I haven't really had a moment where I seriously considered quitting. And I think that's largely because I kept things at a level that's manageable and enjoyable. I don't overcomplicate the editing. I don't put too much pressure on making everything look perfect. And I stick to a schedule that works for me. And because of that, it never really becomes overwhelming. That doesn't mean everything is always easy. There are times when recording feels a bit more like an obligation, or you're just not entirely sure of what to say. But those moments pass quickly, and they haven't been strong enough to make me want to stop. And the sixth question is growth and fulfillment. Do you feel the journey has been worth it? And have you grown as a reader, booktuber, and a person? And looking back on it so far, this journey has absolutely been worth it. One of the biggest positives is the people I've met. Through BookTube, you end up interacting with people from all over the world, and people you would never have crossed paths with otherwise. And that's something I didn't fully expect when I started. It also expanded my reading a lot. I've come across books, authors, and even entire subgenres that I probably wouldn't have discovered on my own. And it's made me more open to trying different things, even if I still mainly stick to fantasy and science fiction. And as a reader, I've definitely grown. I'm better at understanding what I like, what I don't like, and why. And I think more about the structure, pacing, and character work than I used to. And as a booktuber, I've improved in how I present my thoughts, how I structure videos, and how I communicate overall. And as a person, I'm not entirely sure how much I've changed. That's always harder to see from the inside. But one of the reasons I started the channel was to improve my English. And I do think that has worked a little bit. I feel more comfortable speaking English now than I did at the beginning. And that alone makes the whole experience worthwhile. And the last tag is to tag others. And for this one I'm tagging anyone who's watching this video and wants to do it. I think it's a great tag to reflect on your own journey, whether you've just started or you've been doing this for a while. Anyway, that's it for this tag. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you again in the next one.